Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I have hoes in different area codes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. No, actually, I do actually.
Eric, can you boost
Emma,
the volume?
can you?
What
can
is
you?
that?
Yeah, no, I can attest.
Oh,
This is my best friend Emma, by the way. Yeah.
I believe
There'd be
you.
a few on the roster.
It's a fun time. It's much better that way. I think it's better to keep like at least two people kind of in your thoughts so that one doesn't dominate your whole brain. You know?
So how many people are you seeing right now?
I mean, at the moment, like actively I'm seeing one person, but I was seeing somebody else that I kind of lost interest for.
Okay.
But
Recently, you were seeing 2 people.
yes.
Okay.
And before that, like during COVID, it was like 6.
6 during
meow.
COVID?
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
And
it's sister.
is 6 the most amount of people that you've seen concurrently? Or has there been periods where it's been more than 6?
You know, I guess I don't really like think about it in my head as like, right now I have 6 dudes or women that I would like to, you know, go out with on a Tuesday night. You know, I have 6 different. I don't really think about it like that. It's
Sure.
just kind of like.
One question.
It happened.
One question. Are those
yes.
correctional lenses or are those...
Oh, you want to try them?
No, I'm just
They're
curious.
very yes.
Okay, you need them then.
I very much
Okay,
need
that's
them.
fine.
Since I was 5, I got made fun of, and now they're cool. Isn't that crazy?
Let me ask you a question. So you said you think 6 is the most that you've had concurrent?
Maybe, yeah, something around there.
Could have been more, maybe 7, 8
Probably.
at any point?
So, I don't know, maybe.
Okay.
It was like during the era of like, I'm really sick of this pandemic and I want somebody to meet each of my needs.
Okay, meet each of your needs. That's interesting.
Because one person doesn't meet all of your needs, right?
So
like,
yeah. Let's go into
Agreed.
that. Let's
Sure,
go into that a
absolutely.
little bit. So, what were the needs that you were getting met from each individual? Maybe,
Well-
so for example, maybe one guy, he was your dinner date.
No,
This,
I
one
can-
other guy.
I catch your drift. I know
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
what you're talking
Sure.
about. And that's absolutely correct. There was a time in my life where I was working, well, back up. My parents cut me off during the pandemic, and so the job that I was working paid for my bills just fine before, and then all of a sudden I had a 1-bedroom apartment with $1,600 worth of rent and 2 pets and a whole life to pay for. And so food kind of hit like the lowest tier of like priority on rent, animals, healthcare, life, you know? So it was almost kind of out of like a need for a little while.
Are you cold, by the way?
A little bit, but it's okay. I have like a big jacket, so it's not a big deal. I'll be
Okay.
fine.
Eric, do you want to just close the door? Go ahead.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Sorry.
Sorry, where were we?
There's a food guy.
Oh, yes. Okay. So basically, at first I just kind of started scrolling through like, you know, Hinge just to see if I could like find a dinner date. And then I actually kind of really liked all of the people that I ended up going out with. And the thing that I actually thought was kind of funny is a lot of
Evan
my...
Cheek super chatted $50. Brian, I will fly you Colombian women right now to replace the clown. Hippie and girls you took in this evening. Holly Cruz on the panel. Do you actually see yourselves ever entering a serious relationship with a decent guy with urine decency?
Oh.
Entering.
cute.
Why,
Okay.
why Colombia?
Baby,
Well,
we've been in serious
Yeah,
relationships.
What do you mean entering relationships?
We'll,
we have them, baby.
We're not interested in you,
We'll,
honey.
we'll,
It's okay.
we'll pull that one back up and we'll get to it, Cheeks. We'll have you continue with your story. So, okay.
Yeah, okay, so basically, you know, it was funny because all of the like apps that I was using, the people that I would go out with would be like, you know, you're the first person that actually we like took it out of the chat, you know? Like, they're like, I've been talking to people for weeks and months and I never see them. But, you know, it was kind of like one of those things where I was like, well, hey, what's up? I think you're cool. Let's get dinner. And then real connections like actually started from that, you know? I had this one guy.
Can you just enumerate you said that each one of them met a different need. Can you just quickly enumerate?
I was actually just about to get there.
Okay, go
yeah.
ahead, go
So
ahead.
I had this one guy that he would text me every morning, good morning, and he would be like, oh, good night, sweetheart. And anytime I needed him, he was just there. And that was great because I don't want to like.
What? Guys, don't
Okay.
do that shit. Don't
Here's
do
the
that.
thing though, women love it. And if you
Right.
want to get laid, then they will fuck you.
So
if
real.
you do that.
I don't do that.
But that's good for you, but maybe the women that you like don't like that. But the men I like and the women I like do that to me, and I like that. Everyone has their own preferences. you
Well,
know?
continue.
So
Continue.
there was another one that, you know, every once in a while he would get me some like nice gifts. And so like that was kind of nice. I have like a gold necklace with my name on it and like a Cartier bracelet.
Okay.
That was kind of nice. I appreciated that. He took me to the Four Seasons a lot, and I had a nice birthday. That was cool. Gosh, what was the other one? There was another one that I used to just go out to restaurants with in Santa Barbara. That was, I think, my favorite because we kind of had, like, we would try a new place like every week, you know? And so I joke now with my coworkers that I've been to all of the nice date spots in town, and so everyone always asks.
And okay, so you were seeing all these guys all at the same time,
Concurrently,
pretty much
yeah.
concurrently.
And then-
were you sleeping with all of them, or just some of them you slept with?
No, I was sleeping with them when I was
Okay.
feeling like it. There was no obligation, though. I made it really
Okay.
clear, like, from the beginning that, like, this isn't, like, an exchange type of relationship. Like, I'm here because I like you, and you're here because you like me, and if that changes, then, like, we're done.
Okay.
The pandemic, I think, really brought about the need for human connection in a way that I think was kind of pushed to the side before because we were so busy with other things. And then all of a sudden, when we didn't have people in the grocery store and, you know, at our daily walks just out and about in the neighborhood, you kind of start to realize that, like, just sitting across from the table with somebody and sharing a meal and having a conversation about your day, you know, oh, that guy was so rude to me, or oh, that lady was so cute when she helped the dog. You know, I don't know, something stupid, but like just the ability to like have human connection in a way that like there's no, I don't know, there's like no extra strings, there's no expectations.
And so just to confirm, was it, you were sleeping concurrently with 6 guys, was it?
Well, no, there were women involved too.
Oh, so 6 men and a few women?
No, there were 6 people.
6 people?
Yeah.
Okay, so 3 men, 3 women, 4
It's
men?
like 2, I think there were like 2 women at once.
Okay, 2
Yeah.
women, 4
Mostly,
men.
it was typically dominated by men, but I would say that's only because you go on Hinge for 2 seconds, you go boop, boop, and then they go, please expend your area. You have lost all range. There's
So
nobody
true.
else in the whole area.
Oh,
So, and then you're friends with all the lesbians, and they're either coupled or they're your friend. So
That is very common.
so
That's a,
real.
yeah,
your pool
very
goes
common
from
experience.
this to this, and then there's like one person that you're kind of crushing on, and then you sleep with her, and it's not as good as you want it to be.
Such a letdown.
I know.
So just curious, so let's say like in a week time, what's the most, because maybe, I don't know if this was, you said it was concurrent, but maybe it was spread out over
I mean, it
months.
was like during the pandemic, right? It was like in a span of like, 6 months, but it was like all of these people I was like talking to.
I want to ask you a question. What is in a week's time, 7 days, what's the most amount of people, maybe this was before, after the pandemic, before this period, what's the most amount of people new people that you've had sex with in a week's time?
Oh, I don't even know. That's a great question.
Was
you know
it
what?
6?
I mean, probably not.
Okay.
I would say that I like kept the same like partners once I like found somebody that I liked, but I would kind of like recycle out people that I didn't quite often.
Recycle. What about composting at all?
Oh, I have a worm bin at home actually. I
You have a what?
compost.
Okay.
I have a tiny little worm bin in my kitchen. Yeah,
my
I haven't. I have
we
a garden.
love an eco-friendly
Thank
queen.
you. Yeah.
Are you talking about mealworms?
No.
Okay.
Unfortunately, fortunately they're earthworms, so they eat all of my like food scraps, and that way there's no methane.
We love that. We love that.
The trash.
So let me ask, in a 24-hour period,
2
2 people?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
within 3 hours.
Within 3 hours.
Whoa.
That
What about the 48-hour period? 3?
probably, yeah.
4 maybe?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Okay.
Oh, well, it depends because there was like a couple, like there was like a threesome, and then there was like the next day.
Okay.
So like, does that count?
Technicalities.
I really
suppose.
hope that nursing school does not find
I think you're
this.
asking for very. There seem to be some very complex answers.
Yeah, you're asking me questions that I've genuinely like never thought about because it's just kind of like I'm living my life just out here vibing, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Vibing usually means that you're trying to take dick. You know what I'm saying?
Which is what I was just talking about.
That's so small-minded.
That's not small-minded.
Yeah,
it's the reality.
you can vibe with someone and not have sex.
But she said she
absolutely.
was having sex.
I was. No, I was just out here vibing. I think really like my main thing is like I like having like quality time with people. That's kind of like my love language. And so like I'm also a really hypersexual person, so
that's your love language.
both. I think they can intertwine and combine at the same time, but they don't necessarily always have to.
But in that 48-hour period, like what quality time were you having?
We would go out to dinner, we'd watch a movie, we would snuggle, have a conversation about the day. I don't know, just catch up, talk about what your thoughts in your mind are, because I live alone and I don't get to talk about those things normally.
I also feel like
So why don't you hit up your girls for like quality time?
I do. We did yoga every single day during the pandemic.
Oh, you guys are.
That's so
But
this is
I
my
was,
best
I
friend.
was living in the desert at the time, so we would do it over Skype, basically,
Okay.
or like.
So
It
like
was really
when
fun.
she got off the call, she was like calling her.
It's all day. So here's the thing. Here's the
Speaking
thing.
link up.
I, during the pandemic, was furloughed from my job for like months. And so all of a sudden, I study science, right? So before the pandemic, I was working 40 hours a week. I was going to school. I had zero time for myself. I had no fun. I was so tired. So all of a sudden, I had all of this time. School was online. I literally was just alone in my apartment for like days, literally days, where I would be.
to the streets.
Go ahead.
What did it say?
I don't
She
know.
belonged to the streets, is what it said.
Oh, that's
sound
cute.
bites.
You know, I do love the streets. The streets be calling.
They can be
Just
so
like-
beautiful. sometimes they have some string lights. The
Doja
streets
Cat wrote
can
a
be
song
very
about the
pretty.
streets, so it can't be that bad.
This is the difference between men and women, though. So men, when they're like isolated, they develop that time to like self-improvement.
Well, how do you know that I didn't do that too?
Because you just told me right now that you invited a lot of people over when you were.
I
alone.
didn't invite people over to my house. I spent time alone in my home, but then I went out on dates and I spent time. Why are you laughing? I don't
ask?
understand like what your problem is with it.
My problem is that men and women approach that situation very differently.
Sure, but like my self-development has nothing to do with the fact that I was also involved in interpersonal relationships because I live alone and required them.
Can I ask you a question?
You required them.
Yeah, everyone requires interpersonal relationships, right? To be content and happy in the world. How would you feel if you were just by yourself for 6 months?
What's the difference between
Derek
one?
makes
Hold
one
on.
super chat at $49.99.
Ooh.
Who really expects a real man who is worthy of being called high values to give you the time of day? If you just want hookups, hit the streets. Who actually wants stability or a partner for life?
Oh,
Isn't
we'll have
that
to
what
circle
she
back to that.
literally just described?
Yeah, I mean,
What?
look, dude, I'm in my early 20s. Like, I would love to settle down one day, but like, I'm trying to
Live.
Ian
just live
Hall
my
super
life.
chatted $50. When I heard Haram Bay, I was thinking the gorilla bro. Apostematism explains 3. Got no words for red, but
I
you
don't
do.
understand this comment.
Yeah,
think that
I'm
was
trying
English.
to parse that one.
Yeah,
Can you explain with like maybe another $50?
Oh,
But to her cash app.
Yes.
okay. Let's.
Well, I would love to ask a question.
Yeah, please.
Actually,
Yeah.
why do you think that having sexual intercourse or sexual relationships and self-improvement cannot coexist?
Exactly.
I
was
never
thinking the
said they
same
can't.
You did.
I'm saying
Okay.
catching 4 bodies is.
I think it was 6.
Oh, you call them bodies.
6.
I think it was.
Boy.
Oh,
Six?
see, I know
Okay.
everything about you just saying that you called them bodies.
Yeah,
I don't
just
need
let
to
me
know
finish real quick.
anymore.
I'm saying catching 6 bodies, whether you're a man or a woman, it's like.
It is a lot to juggle.
Yes.
Yeah, so how can you even put time investment into self-improvement when you're trying to catch 6 bodies?
Can I chime in here for a second?
Please.
So I think that if you want to grow as a person personally, you should allow yourself to experience different things. And sometimes that means experiencing other people and their thoughts and their values, right? Think about
When you say that, do you mean getting ran through?
Yes, Brian.
it can,
Okay, here's the
get your point. Yes, Brian.
it can mean sex, but she also mentioned that they would have conversations.
Yeah, it
Do you
wasn't-
enjoy having conversations with people who can kind of challenge your thought and
you.
maybe give you a new
Yes.
perspective on
Thank you.
things?
But when you think about different experiences, you're thinking about like hobbies, you know, like women's hobbies.
That
are
was a hobby
usually
for sure.
Yeah.
Having sex
Uh-huh.
was your hobby.
Well, no, having relationships with people was definitely a hobby during the pandemic because there was nothing else to do besides.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, what did it result in?
It resulted in me learning a lot about myself, actually, because now I know what I
Now
like
you know how to
and
have
dislike.
sex better,
No.
or-
Now I know what I like and dislike in a partner because
Bingo.
it wasn't just a sexual relationship. I know that that's what keeps getting brought back to. But the main aspect was actually not the sex. It was the fact that I enjoyed these people's company.
So if it was just you enjoying their company, why didn't you just enjoy their company?
Because I'm a hypersexual person and I
So
enjoy
that's
having sex.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't understand.
Well,
I-
yeah.
I'm
So why
actually
do those
quite
things
lost.
have to be exclusive?
They're
why,
not, yeah,
you know,
they're-
why can't you form a connection with someone and have a sexual relationship?
Yeah.
Why do those things have to be separate
You don't fuck your friends?
to be fulfilled?
Yeah, friend fucking is fun. I highly
Yeah.
recommend it.
You're not friends if you're having sex.
I don't know.
yeah.
They were definitely my friend. They weren't anything more
They're
than
my
that.
friend first,
I'm
sex
just, well,
after.
just one question on the 6 concurrent thing.
Sure.
Were you open with them that you were
Yes.
seeing?
Yeah, I told people that I was seeing other people. I feel like it's getting really blown out of proportion. Genuinely, really what it was is I was just dating. And when you put a label on like the number and you talk about the fact that you have slept with all of them, it sounds so dirty. Oh, she's such a hoe. But like genuinely, like we all date, right? And like the fact that I have dated 6 people at the same time and, you know, maybe one of us has dated 6 people at different times, what's the difference? You have seen and slept with the same amount of people. The timeline was just
So the
different.
difference is that when you say dating, you're referring to going out on dates with people. These are the people that you told to link up at, I'm guessing, your place, right?
No, we went to dinner first, which is what I said before.
And it ended in sex.
Sure,
right?
because I wanted it to.
So when you're saying dating, you really mean sex.
No,
I think that there might
but
be
that's
like
definitely.
I think that there might be a difference in like the terminology that's used, maybe from just like even like women and men, because like I know a lot of people, you know, jump on the dating thing and it's like, okay, like we're exclusive, and I can be like that sometimes too. What I'm hearing like from this perspective, this is a perspective that I've never heard of before, where somebody genuinely looks at that type of interaction as like we're dating, we're spending the time together. But then I see what you're saying as like, oh, you know, like I'm just having my fun, I'm doing my thing, I'm navigating this, like what is life, and like I see both.
Yeah.
No,
I think
I'm going back to what Brian said, where he's saying like it sounds like an excuse to get ran through.
I think
I mean, that's like a really disgusting term, and I think that also that's kind of a really like
I'll just keep my hands on.
harsh thing to say to women, because you would only say that really to a woman, right? You wouldn't say that to a dude. So
Well, I mean, it's a little different, but a man could also be.
sure, but like you wouldn't. I wouldn't sit here and say that to you if you told me you were seeing 6 people. I'd be like, great, good for you.
I just want to point something out on the whole 6 people thing. Well,
But by the way, I'm seeing literally one person now. So like this was pandemic era when I was alone.
okay.
So like now that the world is like back and like I'm doing life again, like that has gone
So
away.
are you saying that you regret?
Never.
I don't
no.
wanna put words
I have
in
no
your mouth,
regret. What
but-
I'm saying though is like it was a situational opportunity that I took because I had the time and the energy to do so, and I don't see that there's a problem with that.
There isn't.
I also think that it does come down to labels, right? Because you did ask a question about labels earlier, and I feel like where this miscommunication or challenge of thought may be coming from is just a difference of labels. So you label dating one thing, and she labels dating something different.
Yeah.
And I think that's really just what it is.
Well, women that I talk to, they usually say that they date to be in relationships, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Whereas your situation was you were dating to see if you could have sex with them.
No,
Wel-
that's
welcome.
absolutely
It was
incorrect. I don't know where
dating
you got
to
that
see
from.
what I would like,
Uh-huh.
what kind of interest things, like I want to go out and do things, I want to meet new people, I want to see these types of people. Is this an attribute that I like in this person? Okay, I do. I'm going to take that home with me. And when I look for somebody that I do want to actually sit down and have a relationship with, those are the things I'm going to be looking for, that I'm going to be like, oh, that's what I want. You have all these
Well, I'm
attributes.
just going off the reality of what she
No,
said.
no, no.
get
What
railed
she
and still
said,
get to know
what she
people.
said is
That's all I'm
exactly correct. What I learned is what I like and I dislike from a partner in dating, where personality, right? Like, I mean, I see you rolling your eyes. I don't really care, but like genuinely, it has
I didn't
more.
even roll my
It has more to do with getting to know different attributes of different people and how your own person vibes with that in a relationship, romantically, sexually, socially.
How old were you during the pandemic?
I was 21 to 23. So that also makes sense, right? I was young.
You were young,
I
right.
was drinking. I was going out to the
Did
bars.
you go to UCSB?
No, I'm forever City
College.
College student. I'm still
Did you
there.
live in Isla Vista?
No, I'm from here. So
from
I
Santa
have my
Barbara.
own
Okay.
one-bedroom apartment on the east side.
Okay, gotcha. I'm asking because you mentioned part of the reason why you wanted to date that many people at once is because you wanted to get some experience, right? But did you not?
It wasn't sexual experience. I think that's misconstrued.
Not sexual experience, but you said you wanted to find out what you like, what you don't like.
Correct.
Whether that be sexual or in a partner.
Totally.
And so,
Sure.
Had you not been dating at all prior to this?
I was in a really crappy kind of verbally abusive relationship for 2 years where I lived with him. She experienced it. It was really bad. And genuinely, if I think about it in like a long-term thing, I probably went one pendulum swing to the other because that was just how my heart was hurt.
Okay.
And so like genuinely now that time has gone on and I've healed from that, and he is no longer a thought in my mind and no longer a feeling I need to feel. I don't feel the need to, find validation or go out on dates or as much. But I mean, like, it wasn't just for sex. It was more for just like dating.
Connection.
Okay,
human
so
connection.
Intimacy.
I do want to keep things moving. Guys, we will get to the soup chats here in just a few minutes. I'll have everyone else give their whole little thing on this. I just wanted to make a statement on the sex thing, and I forgot exactly.
I feel like we're really going back to that.
Getting very hung up,
What I
yeah.
would really like to say is like, it wasn't like I was sitting there with a list like, yes, there's Ziggy. That's not me. Like genuinely, I think it was just that like, it was kind of a game at first, like with my coworkers, where I'd be like, oh, let's see, haha, let's get dinner tonight. And then I'd go out and I would kind of like them. And then like, there was just a handful eventually, And so it wasn't like I'm trying to check down a roster. It was just like, oh, I really like this person and I'd like to facilitate connection with them further.
I would love to ask you another question, actually. So we're talking about sex being involved as part of forming connections with people and seeing how other people love and interact. Why is it that the sex bothers you so much?
Yeah.
It maybe
doesn't
not
bother
bothers
me.
me, but
I don't think it bothers
The sex
him.
doesn't
Okay.
bother me.
I think it's the terminology, and I think it's the labels. I think it's just a difference of opinion and more so a difference of perspective. I think that's really just what it is.